Boundaries. They sound like a self-help buzzword, but honestly, boundaries are the unsung hero of our own sanity. Boundaries tell people, here is where I start, and here is where I end. Without them, we're all just an open door policy. Sure, come on in. Dump your to-do list on me. Please, sir, may I have another? But boundaries are like a velvet rope at an exclusive club. It's not mean, it's just clear. When you define your limits, whether it's how many social invites you're going to accept or how many late night work emails you're willing to answer, you're upgrading your life from doormat across your forehead to VIP status for your own needs. We tend to forget that saying yes to one thing leads to a no to something else. When you accept that extra work project that requires you to stay late every night, you're saying no to cooking and eating dinner with your family, or to that quick call with your best friend, or to your late night Netflix binge, which may not seem important on the surface, but actually helps protect your, inner calm. Every yes is a trade-off. It's a switching of lanes on the freeway of your life. It's like signing up for 5 different online courses all at once, only watching the introduction video and abandoning everything else instead of sticking with the one thing that is going to get you where you need to go. Recognizing that trade-off gives weight back to no. It's not selfish, it's strategic. You're simply choosing where you invest your precious hours. And speaking of no, the word no is a complete sentence. There's no need to tack on further explanation like some kind of weird verbal security blanket. No thank you, or no I can't, or simply no is really all that's required. Yet so many of us feel compelled to justify or apologize or soften the blow with excuses. I'm sorry, but I just have too much on my plate right now. Or I wish I could, but I have, my cat's bat mitzvah is tonight. Or some further weird babble as we struggle to come up with something for the reason we're saying no. But the fact is, the more words that you use, the muddier your boundaries become. A crisp, standalone no commands attention and respect. So why is valuing your time so crucial? Well, because time is the ultimate currency. You can theoretically always get more money, but you cannot get back time. Every email you answer at 10 o'clock at night, every meeting you squeeze into your lunch break, chips away at the only resource you can't replenish. And when you start to treat your time like gold, you begin guarding it pretty fiercely, like a dragon. You learn to spot time vampires. Those people or tasks or obligations that just feed off of your time and suck away your energy without giving you anything real in return. And you're going to find that once you start saying no to the unimportant things, you have space to say yes to the things that really matter to you. Your self-care and your passions and your family. And yeah, even your Netflix and pajama nights. And look, I get it. Telling people no is hard as can be. We worry about disappointing our friends and our family and our coworkers and our bosses. We worry that we're going to look lazy or uninterested. And then our inner critic starts piping up. They're going to think you're unreliable. They're going to think you don't like them. They're going to think that you think you're more important than everyone else. Well, guess what? You are more important than almost anyone else. Maybe your dog, maybe your kids, or your cat, if you're a cat person. But you are the most important one. And here's a little secret. People generally respect honesty. So if you politely decline something with a firm but polite, no thank you, I can't, most people are going to just nod and move on. And the ones who are going to judge you, why are you bending backwards for these people? Now let's take a second to talk about why saying no is even harder for people with ADHD. Our brains are novelty magnets and impulse machines. That initial little ping of interest, like someone asks you if you can lead a craft night, or you see an intriguing workshop that's going on. Those things shoot straight to the reward center of our brains, and dopamine spikes. And you hear the, woo, shiny, new, pretty. Our lack of executive function makes it hard to look ahead to the calendar constraints that we're going to have in the future when we are signing up for all these things that are so pretty in the moment. So by the time reality catches up, we're already committed. And then we spend the whole night just internally screaming, why am I even here? Research even shows that people with ADHD experience less anticipatory dopamine release when thinking about future tasks. And that makes long-term planning feel super abstract. Saying no is basically a future-minded decision. And the reward is avoiding potential overwhelm later. And that is really tricky for ADHD brains to value because we're wired for that instant rush of novelty. When I first started to learn how to set boundaries, it legitimately felt like I was trying to learn a whole new language. My palms would sweat and my voice would wobble, and I'd often end up with offering a maybe, and that didn't satisfy anybody. But then I started to realize that every time I did say no, I was essentially setting reset on my day. I'd retained an extra hour, avoided burnout, and yeah, I even managed to bake a successful yeast roll all on my own time. The key was practicing no in low pressure situations, unsubscribing from newsletters, skipping free webinars. And that helped to build muscle memory for future scarier no's. It's like training for a marathon. You don't rush right into it. You start jogging around the block first. It's tempting to think that life would be perfect if we could all just wave a magic wand and have unlimited time on our hands. But boundaries teach us something almost even more magical. You have the power to shape your own schedule. You have the power to give yourself more time in the day. You get to choose what goes on your calendar and what, more importantly, does not go in your planner. And here's the real kicker. When you start valuing your time, other people will start valuing your time as well. This is ridiculously important if you work from home or you are a stay-at-home mom, wife, girlfriend, whatever, because the outside world believes that if we are home, we have all the time in the world for them. If we are at home, we can run them up to the store. We have time to go out to lunch. We're just sitting at home because we haven't taught them to value our time. And that is one of the biggest reasons we must learn to set boundaries with everyone, except for our dogs and our children. Hawk gets me when he wants me, okay? I have no shame for that. Whatever that dog wants, that dog's gonna get. No boundaries whatsoever. And look, saying no still kind of makes me feel awkward and kind of nervous, but I have to force myself to remember that every yes that I give someone is a no to sitting home and writing. It's a no to sitting home and reading trashy novels. It's a no to learning how to make something new in my kitchen. No does not mean I hate you. What it means is I love myself enough to guard my own energy. And that shift from martyrdom to self-respect turns the word no into an act of self-care. You're no longer a people pleaser. You are a time preserver. And by the way, no doesn't have to be delivered like a bark or with a grimace on your face. You can soften it with warmth. Thank you for thinking of me, but that doesn't work for me right now. Or I appreciate the invite, but I'm gonna have to pass. You're not being rude. You're being honest. And honesty breeds trust. People are going to appreciate knowing where you stand instead of guessing or assuming from some unambiguous response that you gave to someone because you were afraid to tell them no. So the next time somebody asks you for a favor or your brain lights up at the possibility of a new opportunity that doesn't actually align with where you're trying to go, pause, take a breath, and feel that little tug between instant novelty and long-term sanity and say, no, thank you. And then just watch as your life unfurls into a space that's not defined by endless yeses, but enriched by intentional no's. I appreciate you saying yes to clicking on this video. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope that you were at least mildly entertained. Don't forget to smash all those YouTube buttons for me and leave me a comment below and tell me the funniest or lamest excuse you ever gave someone to get out of doing something you didn't want to do. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hi, baby. You want to say hi? We haven't said hi to everybody in a long time. Say hi. Do you want to go outside? Oh. You want to go outside? Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. Oh, there's my boy. Hi. You want to go outside? Oh, yes, you do. You want to go outside? Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye.